Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. Mike Hardball, Hardge, WWE Hall of Famer, the strongest man, Mark Henry. And, of course, we've got Marcus behind the boards. In hour number one, we talked about Texas season coming to an end, 35-4, but what a great season. We also talked about the drama between Don Staley and Gino Auriemma. That's what it's all about. We got a chance to talk to our good friend Zach Sim about Texas baseball. But right now, we're going to be talking something special. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in this world that we have no control over. And we are joined right now by Melissa Fleming. She's part of the CureStartsNow.org and Team Brock. And she has a special message that she wants to get out because this story is unique, but it happens more to other people than we even know when it comes to the children.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me on. Good morning, everyone. So I'm here today just to talk about our golf tournament coming up, but really create awareness of childhood cancer. So I think all of us have seen those commercials with St. Jude's and kids battling treatment. But going on 10 years now, my son was diagnosed with brain cancer. So I didn't even know that kids got brain cancer. And more importantly, I didn't know that there was even terminal brain cancer. So my little man who was running around playing soccer one day couldn't even hold his head up the next day because of the tumor. And so we now raise money to find better treatments, find a cure for childhood cancer.
So let me ask you this, because I read a little bit about Team Brock, and I was curious to this because it said that he was walking one day and then fell.
Yes.
And you thought y'all were treating a concussion, and then that's when y'all went in and saw that there was a tumor there. If he wouldn't have had a concussion or wouldn't have fallen, how would you have even known to even check that?
Yeah, you know, in brain cancer, it's a beast, whether you're an adult or a kid. And so where Brock's tumor was located was in the brainstem, and it controls your eating, walking, talking, breathing. So typically it is from a fall because the tumor presses in the wrong place. It affects their mobility. So when he was just running like you would, he tripped and fell, but he landed on his knuckles, which isn't a normal way to fall because the tumor was miswiring his brain in essence. And he just plowed into that concrete. So, you know, he's got this huge goose egg, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, and he doesn't know who we are, which is always a little scary. But we just took him to the ER, and they said, oh, you know, he's okay. You know, good news. There's no hemorrhaging, no bleeding in the brain. Take him home. Go see the doctor the next day. But by the next day, he was walking on his tippy toes, and he had partial facial paralysis, and that was all the tumor. So that's when our pediatrician said, go to Dell Children's, get an MRI. They kind of discounted it because he had this huge goose egg. But as soon as I had him smile and they saw the half smile is what they call it, they're like, we're getting an MRI. So, I mean, it's just a whirlwind. You know, the whole time I'm thinking, I don't want permanent damage to his adorable little face. Right. I'm thinking it's the fall. My husband, he was with APD at the time. And so he had more of a medical background. He knew it was neurological. He knew something else was going on. But it's not anything that you would ever expect in a 6-year-old.
Right. And that's the thing, too, because we look at our kids and they're so playful and they're doing all these different things. But then something like that happens. And then the first thing you're trying to take a step back and you're like, okay, what else can we do here?
Yeah, and even when they said he had brain cancer, like, okay, well, we're a united family. We've got this. Like, let's start treatment. What do we do? And then that's when they said, well, we can do a biopsy and just confirm. And we're like, yes, let's do it. And I asked them, I said, what's the outcome of the biopsy? And they said there's 3, either the kind without a cure, the kind with a cure, or the kind with no cure. And so, I mean, his symptoms were so aggressive. I knew that it was cancer, but I immediately told everyone, okay, pray it's the one with the cure. But you're still just, it's surreal, right? I mean, this isn't supposed to happen to little kids.
Right.
So y'all, being that you went through it, do you counsel parents as well on what the next steps are to take, being that you've gone through it?
That is something that's really important to me because, you know, you feel like you're in a dark hole all by yourself. And so it's really important to align with people who really know what you're going through. Even over the weekend, I had a family. So what we do, if you go on Facebook to Team Brock, right now I'm highlighting a local kid in our community, but every story talks about how they were diagnosed because I want parents to start recognizing the symptoms. And then I talk about their treatment so that way they can see like what are next steps. And then I always end with who the kid is because the kid isn't cancer. That's something they got. And I want everyone to know how amazing these kids are. And so from that, I mean, people will reach out. There was another kid that was diagnosed kindergartner just recently with brain cancer. And so the school counselor reached out to me. So it's helping them start to get resources. Obviously, they're dealing with the hospitals, but they need that comfort and to, give advice of spoil your kid.
Right.
When the nurse is saying, oh, you still need a parent. I'm like, no, you don't. Spoil them. There's a time later for that. So, and then just helping them navigate because a lot of these childhood cancers, aside from brain cancer, they may have initial treatment, but if anything goes awry, there's not standard treatment in a lot of these childhood cancers. And so where's the next hospital you should go to? Where do you have to advocate for your child? And firm believer in that. The doctors are doing the best they can, but we as parents know our kids the most, and we have to advocate, and we have to keep pushing.
That's a great point. And make sure you get over to thecurestartsnow.org for all the information. Team Brock, the golf Fore. I like the way you spell it. Fore, a cure. That will be taking place April the 24th. Tee time is at 8 a.m. It's already sold out. But she has some other things that you can help with. And I'm going to let her take it away.
Yeah. So if you go on Facebook to Team Brock, you'll start seeing our post. We're going to be having a silent auction that starts in 2 weeks. Tons of things to bid on, trips, gift certificates, experiences, all about creating memories. And then we do a helicopter golf ball draw, which is super cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Helicopter flies in, drops 1,000 balls. And then the three closest to the hole win money. So you can buy chances to win. And so we'll be putting it all there on Team Brock. And then if you go to teambrock.org, it'll take you to the Cure Starts Now, our chapter page to learn more.
Yeah, and you and your husband, I know that he was a big part of this and looking at these kids, but you also, during the golf tournament, you have different families that are out there on each hole talking about their story as well.
Yeah, it's super wonderful. So we're going to have Miss Carrie, who is a junior at Cedar Ridge High School. She's actually going to kick us off that morning sharing her story and reminding all the golfers while we're out there. On each hole, we honor a different child. So I would say there's about 10 to 12 of those families are going to be out there greeting golfers. And it's just a way for them to thank the golfers. Golfers get to see that these kids aren't statistics, they're real, and just support each other. It's huge community.
And it's sold out, but that doesn't mean you can't try to get in for next year.
Exactly.
And the year after that, because it seems to be such a great, great cause. And we always talk about it. Our kids are our most vulnerable things on earth, and they're still trying to learn. And unfortunately, some of these things start to happen to the kids. But as you said, they got cancer. That don't mean that they are cancer.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that you're doing that. You also were talking about some other things that they could do if they wanted to donate, volunteer, other things that they can do. What page do they need to go to for that?
So everything's the same place. If you go to teambrock.org, it goes to our chapter page. It shows the golf tournament. And on that golf tournament, there's a volunteer sign up. It's going to have the silent auction. We try to have everything go to the same place to make it easy. And it's teambrock.org because my son, when he was battling, he wanted to be Brock Strong. He wanted to be Team Brock, Batman logo, because that's everyone's favorite superhero. So that just makes it easy to know where to go.
That's what I was just about to ask you. Was that Batman signal for him? He put it up in the air?
It sure was. We had some family friends who created the logo because that had to be a little bit different, but he approved, and he wanted the blue Batman, not the gray Batman. So it's the blue one.
Oh, man. That's
very specific.
Okay. All right.
I love it. And if there's anything else that we can do, we're obviously going to put it up on our site as well, get all the information out there. But if you wanted to say one more thing to the people out there to make sure that they're aware, to bring awareness to it, and of course, praying for these young kids that they don't know what's happening to them, but whatever they're going to do, they're going to fight all the way to the end.
Yeah, and a lot of us know about like October to pink out for breast cancer. What most people don't realize is September is childhood cancer, and you're supposed to gold out. So you're starting to see more and more schools do it. So if your school isn't doing it, talk to your principals, get the student council involved, reach out to us. We've got a junior committee. They're all high school students ready to help spread gold in September. And then, donate to the Cure Starts Now. What people don't realize is that experts believe that if you can find a cure for childhood brain cancer, it's the cure to all cancers. There's a lot of mutations in these kids' brain cancers that are in adult cancers. And then also, it's the biggest bully. It's the most aggressive. So if you can stop it, you can stop anything. So when you're donating to the Cure Starts Now, it is the Cure Starts Now for all cancers.
There it is. Couldn't have said it any better. Melissa Fleming, looking out for Team Brock. Team Brock. We got to make sure. I got to give me one of those shirts. I'm definitely in.
I'm sending you one.
I'm definitely in for the Batman. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. And as we said, April the 24th is the tea time, and all things start there. But the other part of it is make sure you get over to teambrock.org so you can find out a little bit more and you can donate your time, some of that money, and everything else, because she said they got some good prizes over there.
We sure do.
Thank you.